Little Red Flying Hood. Written and illustrated by Ben Nelson with help of Laura Nelson. Animated by the sophomore web and video game students of Southwest CTA. Arthurburg was a busy, bustling bug town, built from tossed-out boxes and cans on the ground. Broken old toys, cottons, and lost wedding rings, remade into shops, restaurants, houses, and things. On the edge of this town, a little house stood, the home of a housefly named Red Flying Hood. Red was friendly and smart, and everyone knew. She once fixed the tail of a mouse with some glue. A caterpillar's kite she fixed with some tape, and lifted a bug up a vine for a grape. Red was helpful and cheerful, gentle and kind, but her memories got mixed up inside of her mind. She left lunch at home and her red hood at school, and she never remembered a towel for the pool. Red's best friends lived down the street, not far away. They grew up together and play every day. Bonnie, a sassy brave bee who loves honey. Franklin, a firefly, clumsy and funny. And two spunky cricket twins named Po and Ming are all of Red's best buddies who lend her a wing. One morning while Red combed her fruit fly wing hair, her mother had some really bad news to share. She knocked on the bathroom door and shouted,
"Red, I've just come back from the store. Your poor granny's contracted the fruit fly flu. I wish I could help her, but I've got it too. I went to the store and found the only cure. Mushy brown rotting fruit will save her, I'm sure."
So Red packed her basket with stinky old fruit, while in her mind she contemplated her route. With her basket packed, Red was ready to go, but Mom said,
"Wait, there's one more thing you should know. There are two paths that will lead to Granny's home. I don't want you to go there walking alone. One pathway is safe with no danger to fear. The other leads right where a killer is near. He's a spider named Cranston, an evil beast, who munches on insects like us for his feast."
Red took her mom's advice with no fear at all.
"I've got my friends. If I were in trouble, I'll call."
Red's mom said,
"Stay on the right path when it bends. I'll tell all their parents and you tell your friends. You'll be safe. Just get home before it is late."
So Red's friends soon followed her out of their gate. As Bonnie left, her parents gave her a hug.
"Be careful and safe, like a good little bug,"
They advised as the two girls went on their way.
"You should be back home by the end of the day."
So Red and her friends started on their journey, not seeing the spider that watched from a tree. He had fangs, a top hat, and a purple bow tie, and he glared through his scope with one evil green eye. "Arg, those kids will get in my way. If I don't do something, I won't eat today. Sweet fruit fly granny will make a tasty pie, or I could toss them all in the pan to fry. If I want to make a feast of her, I can't let Red give old granny the cure. I must stop them before they get to her den." He crawled to the left and he crawled to the right. An evil scheme gleamed through his mind like a light. The bugs soon arrived at the two paths near the lake, and Red couldn't remember which path to take. A friendly old fellow with beard white as snow said, "Left, young lady, is the way you should go." And through his eyes blazed and his beard was slipping. Red missed his disguise and started off skipping. "They won't reach Granny's house today."
Wait, Red, that guy could be a fraud.
He was nice, not mean, ugly, or odd. I trust him, you guys. Now let's go on our way.
It wasn't exactly what they thought she'd say. Then suddenly a badger, hairy and gray, with eyes like a serpent, sharp claws like a mole, and teeth like a bear, it attacked from its hole.
Run for it!
But Bonnie tripped. Franklin flew to the rescue, lightning fast.
"You saved me. Your light is so strong. This isn't the path, and that old man was wrong. Red, you should have written down what your mom said. You've led us all here and we all might end dead.
I'm so sorry. I thought he was good. It's my fault we're lost. I'd go back if I could.
Let's go back.
This is our only track. If we work together, we'll find the way out. This path leads to Granny's the long way, no doubt.
They started off, but were soon stopped by a stream, with water so cold it could make a bug scream.
My friends understand me. I owe them a lot. Now how can we get past these rapids?
What we need is a watertight boat.
They found a coconut to keep them afloat. As they climbed in, their luck suddenly shattered. An owl screeched and swooped. Soon they would be battered.
What's up? Is there a waterfall?
No, an owl, iron talons and all.
Look out!
Red tossed each a cattail, and off they paddled, though they paddled the boat as fast as they could. Franklin knew one way to stop the owl for good. She screeched and squalled as Franklin used his bright light. A spark at the owl, and he damaged her sight. The band of bugs cheered for their brave little friend. Without Franklin, their quest would be at an end.
Brains over muscle, that's the best way. Smart guys like you, Franklin, will keep us ahead.
It was my duty.
After that, all the bugs continued their ride.
Land ho! Look, we're finally there.
Then a big drop of water fell from the air. Splat! A wet bomb landed next to Poe and Ming. Franklin dodged a drop that could damage his wing. Red trudged just a few paces into a bush, when her eyes bugged out and her mind turned to mush. In front of them there was a giant wasp nest.
So, you thought this would be a nice place to rest. On you, little bugs, we will soon be dining. I am Rupert, Wasp Chief. For dinner tonight, you'll be roasted or fried.
He flew at Red, and she leaped out of the way. Her friends scattered, and the wasps buzzed in the fray. They heard Rupert let out a screech, then a groan. He missed Red, and instead hit his head on a stone. The wasps swarmed round their wounded chief on the ground, and then the little bugs flittered away without a sound. They all looked at each other and smiled with pride.
We may be small, but we've got smarts on our side.
Those stingers are pretty dumb.
The twins high-fived, and Franklin started to hum. Red stopped, and her friend saw the shock on her face. Memories flipped through her mind, then fell into place. Mom's warning about Cranston and the wrong path. It all clicked together like difficult math. She'd forgotten again, and Cranston had won.
I'm sorry, I'm so dumb.
Red sat in the dirt, scared, lost, worried, and cried. What if they were doomed and she and her friends died? Her friends gathered round her so they couldn't see. The flying squirrel Cecil sat under a tree.
Oi, mates, what you doing here? These woods ain't safe. There are villains all over this place.
Oh, Cecile, aren't we glad to see you?
She told him their tale, and he knew what to do.
Hop aboard, mates. I'll get you there in no time. We'll get help to Grandma and she'll be just fine.
He swooped in the air, and the bugs held on tight.
Woohoo!
Hiding in a tree, Cranston watched through his specs. Why can't I get rid of those lousy insects? How could he capture Red's close-knit little clan? Then Cranston concocted a wicked new scheme of how he'd wear a disguise and pretend to be kind. He cast out his web and swung from tree to tree, and thought of meatloaf with 5 bugs and a bee. Cecil landed at Gran's house, a mushroom dome,
Now you all stay safe inside of Grandma's home.
and they waved as they all went inside, calling out thank you to Cecil for the ride. Red and her friends walked to the door, and they knocked, but it opened wide because it wasn't locked.
Why is it so dark inside here?
The twins shook and held each other tight in fear.
Maybe Gran forgot to change the lights?
I fear that we're still on thin ice.
When Red's friends saw Grandma tucked tight in her bed, they gasped at the size of a gigantic head.
Why, Granny, you've got puffy green eyes and you've grown bigger than your usual size.
Hello. You've come far to help me get better, I know. Don't be frightened, my dears. Come closer and see. Give Granny a kiss, and you'll see it's me.
Wait, Red.
She knew it was a trick. That creature was creepy, not helpless or sick. It looked hungry as it leaned over to see, and Bonnie felt sure they should flap their wings and flee.
I know it's not Gran. I'll get closer to see. That's my secret plan. Your teeth are yellow and pointy, too.
Her friends tried to stop her, but what could they do?
No, Red.
Off came Cranston's mask, and before Red could flee, his quick claw snatched her as she started to fly.
Aha! Now I'll bake you into a pie.
When Bonnie flew up to sting Cranston's right claw, he couldn't believe that his plan had a flaw. His eyes twisted and twirled in fury and pain. He released Red and howled loud as a train. Bewildered and scared, Red turned around to see. Cranston held in his claw her friend Bonnie the Bee.
Ming, Po! A belt in Gran's closet is what we must find. It's stretchy and she keeps it up on the shelf. And we need the kettle, which I'll grab myself.
The twins pulled each end of the belt and stretched tight. Red added the kettle and pulled with her might.
Be ready, because when I let go, Cranston will be knocked down and out by the blow.
Meanwhile, Bonnie was trapped, but Franklin flew fast and used his light again to create a flash. Cranston's eyes were blinded and he couldn't see, and accidentally released Bonnie the Bee. Cranston screamed with rage and smacked Frank in the face, which knocked poor little Frank right into a vase.
Fire!
Cranston cried out as he was buried by the brew. When his bum hit the hot stove, he leaped so high that he launched through Gran's roof up into the sky. Cranston blasted through the roof of Granny's home. Cranston fell in a pond and sighed with relief.
Foiled again.
When he heard a noise that filled spiders with dread, a big, hungry bullfrog raised his head. Cranston yelped, but hope to escape was too late. He became dinner on the big bullfrog's plate. The only thing left was his green velvet hat, for no bullfrog would ever want to eat that. Bonnie found Red's Gran in a closet wrapped tight. Red saw her and cried out.
Gran, are you all right?
With webs stuck to her mouth, Gran mumbled.
Mine, mine.
So the girls unwrapped the sticky spider's twine. Using her stinger, Bonnie helped cut the Gran free.
You and your friends saved me.
Be careful, Gran. You know you're still sick. I have the cure here, Gran. You must eat it quick.
Grandma ate the foul fruit like it was candy.
Red, that was delicious and dandy. You were so brave and that spider was crazy. I was so scared and I felt kind of hazy. You all worked together, just like good friends do. You each used your strengths and saved me from the flu.
They heard sirens and saw a red flashing light. The police came to see if they were all right.
Hey, look, outside. Our parents are here.
They dashed out to give all a kiss and a hug, and told the story of their plight with the thug. Red's mom spun her around and cried happy tears. The police and their parents were stunned to hear how the kids used their talents to beat their fear. When the cops showed everyone Cranston's wet hat, Sergeant Sting said,
"Well, folks, I guess that is that."
Then Granny invited everyone inside to feast on rotted apple core she fried.
Thanks for dinner, Granny. Now, we've got a job to honor Red. We're putting a sign where the roads fork so no one is eaten by spiders or toads. See you later!
Let's go home. Mom, it's been a long day.